election takes place in the Himalayan country of Bhutan, which is one of the most beautiful, extraordinary places in the world. Bhutan has given us such an opportunity for our incredibly talented designers to stretch their imaginations.
One of the things we were asking David from the get-go is this place that we're in, this village, is it magical? Yes, it is. So that meant that we've got our characters running around and doing spells and things in a magical place, so we don't have to hide magic.
Bhutan hasn't probably changed as much as the Western world has over the last 200 years. And so we managed to actually get hold of some incredible architectural books on Bhutan and their houses and their buildings, their traditional buildings. It allowed us in a very quick time to understand Bhutanese architecture, village architecture and things like that. It's always exciting to see new architecture that you've never dealt with before being built. Just going through new textures and new tones, and it's just been absolutely amazing.
The area itself is massive. We have a temple courtyard at the bottom, a massive flight of stairs, and then the top courtyard. We're not shooting with blue screen, we're shooting with a coloured backing that is the same sort of colour as the sky and whatever's surrounding us. And we've got wind blowing all the time and everything, and the illusion is great. I think it's amazing to be out in the open and in this amazing place that has a sense of magic and mysticism to it anyway. We're using the destruction of the blood troth between them at the end as a way of putting ourselves into the White King's Cross in Deathly Hallows Part 2. We're doing that with our eerie temple setup. So as the troth smashes and tumbles to the floor slowly, in that beat of a second that the troth takes to fall from there to there, Dumbledore and Grindelwald go at each other like you've never seen before, and we're going to try and come up with ways of seeing macro, travelling along spells, and how those spells are kind of like beautiful sculptures in the air.
Everything is magical, obviously, so it's a different way of approaching a fight. You know, you do fights, you either do stunts with fists, where you're close up and you have contact to each other. Here, it's a little like going back and be 5 or 6 years old. You know, you throw a spell. We have kind of animated what's coming out, and where does it land, and how do we deflect it. So it became much more real, so we could fantasize exactly how this is going to work out.
One of the things that I didn't know about Maz is that he was a professional dancer, and seeing him in the duel with Jude, there was a balletic quality to that movement that was so compelling and jarring and unique that I thought from the off he was going to create something special.
He's got a physicality and he's got an intelligence, and he makes that evil palpable and tangible because it feels possible, it feels real.
I was just always very keen to try and find a grace and an effortless power to Dumbledore's abilities in conflict. The fight team, the stunt team were really open to listening to my ideas and suggestions of physical references. We looked at Roger Federer, funnily enough, who I think is a great physical embodiment of someone who is incredibly powerful, skillful, but also graceful.
There's something really compelling about this relationship between Dumbledore and Grindelwald. They are two men who I think, you know, had such a powerful love for each other. And in this movie you see how that love is tested and kind of ultimately broken. They have different visions of how they see the world, but you get a sense that they still deeply love each other. And one of the things I love about the climax of the third act is that really it's the end of that relationship. When I watch it and what our ambition with it is, even though it's a magical kind of climax, if you like, of two men fighting, It's really about the end of any relationship. It's the end of a commitment, and you feel that when Dumbledore walks away from Grindelwald at the end.
Who will love you now, Dumbledore?
I hope that sort of resonates in that moment.